Hallelujah! The item we're going to render is a spoken word by Ezekiel Azonu of Passion for Christ movement. Amen. Amen.
Hallelujah. The title of this poem is called Almost Saved. One of the most dangerous terms in the English diction. If it were to be translated into an audio, it would sound like from the saxophone of Lisa Simpson. Two words designed and strategically combined to form the biggest oxymoron in the history of mankind.
Almost. See, according to the world's standards, you can live your life vile. You could almost get away with murder if you have a nice smile, and you could almost meet up with folks just to almost sleep around, and then you could almost go to your local clinic and you almost have a child. See,
almost is no stranger to Satan. Here's proof. He only tells lies when they're almost the truth. It's amazing. In our incompleteness, we find satisfaction. See, if almost is one of Lucifer's many traits, then we are inadvertently good Satan impersonations.
But on the contrary, Christ did his job fully and proved he was God when he died on the cross like it was his duty. When he died for me, for the sins that I committed so rudely, and he resurrected just to tell death to excuse me.
But excuse me, this is your life, and that is something I cannot impose on. But your body is God's home, which was alone about to get foreclosed on. See, an almost Christian looks right but lives wrong.
I can't stand the conviction in Romans, so they sit down to be comforted in Psalms. Don't know the true meaning of worship, but love to sing songs like I surrender almost.
Because it is far too expensive for you to spend your life on something that doesn't appeal to your five senses. See, nowadays Christianity is treated like a Louis Vuitton rag. No functional use, but we rock it because it's stylish.
Not righteous, but
rightish.
So now all God has been seeing is a pile of Ishmaels when he intended for Isaacs, and we're moved by how we feel, so we're saved when we feel like it.
So technically we've never really been saved, we merely tried it.
So no wonder we're never actually sold out, because we return it right after we buy it. Listen, beware.
You need that your life could lack the very standards that need to be there. Because on that final day of judgment, while God is receiving his air, will he say, son, well done, or medium rare? Because even by earthly standards, it would be highly insane for you to start spending all your money days before you almost get paid.
Like parents, would you really send your child to a school that's almost safe? And ladies, would you really get married to a man who claims he's almost straight? And these are the things about God that we try to get around, but his standards are like in between two mountains. There's no middle ground.
So a halfway life
is unprofitable to you.
Because even after all the Sunday services,
Bible studies and prayer meetings,
and everything else in between, God will say, I never knew you. And that is not even the worst part about living your life as a neutral. It is that you were once cold, but it is your lukewarmness that will cause him to spew you. And this is the very thing that had me. I was bound and held down by the unforgiving gravity of my spiritual reality. I was Christian, or at least I portrayed the fantasy.
With a filthy personal life, but God bless you, brother. How you doing there, sister? Personality. I was a female enveloped by guilt because I was stamped a sinner. My message couldn't be received because it didn't represent the Savior, although I was almost delivered.
And then one day I took heed to a modern prophet who proclaimed it was time for change. Now I'm no longer bound to sin point blank off the chains.
You can ask Umar Abdul Muttaluk, he'll tell you the same.
You don't almost go to jail when you almost blow up a plane. Neither do you almost go to hell when you almost get saved.
Despise the cross on which he was slain and thus the cause for which he came. But relax, we're almost done. But before we leave the stage,
we have all worked in sin
and death was minimum wage. We said, we have all worked in sin and death was minimum wage. But if it wasn't for Christ, we would have almost got paid.